Have you been thinking about starting a podcast? Well, let me tell you about Anchor. Anchor is totally free and it is very easy. In addition to it being easy, they provide the tools so you don't have to look anywhere else. They also distribute your podcast to several other platforms so you don't have to do any of that work. Additionally, you can make some money while doing your podcast through Anchor. Go ahead and download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm and start your podcast today. You will enjoy. Hey couples, welcome to another episode of Keeping Your Marriage Hot and Holy with your love coach, Chara Taylor. I know it's been a minute and I want to say I have not forgotten you guys. I have not left my stand and my post on this podcast. I had to deal with some health issues and I thank God for being on the side of being healthy and whole. So I'm back, okay? And we're still going to be talking about all things keeping your marriage hot and holy. So today I actually want to talk about in this episode that sex is not dirty. You know, I come from a line of or history and a past where people didn't really talk about sex. And if they talked about sex, they just wanted to make sure you knew what you could not do. They just wanted to make sure you knew all of the don'ts and the weights and this is wrong. And it became so demonized to the point where I didn't know what we could do as a married couple. So I want to talk about that, okay? I want to talk about the fact that sex is not dirty and it doesn't have to be demonic. It does not have to be evil. Now, if there are some things that we can do to open up doors for evil to come into our marriage and to sex, and you know, there are some things that you can do. But listen, let's talk about the things that we can do. Let's talk about the things that we can do freely because we are in this covenant that God created, that God gave to us as married man and woman, okay? It is not dirty. It's actually healthy for us. It's actually liberating for us. It relieves tension. There's so many beautiful perks that come along with sex, and we need to be free. We need to be free and be able to talk about sex. So some of you know that I am a pure romance consultant, meaning that I talk about sexual wellness and I talk about women's wellness and health. And I have different products that I can show that can enhance the bedroom and things like that. But what I'm finding is that there's so many people in the church world, in the saints, in the Christian world, those of us who absolutely love Jesus, who refuse to even take the opportunity to learn, but will complain that their marriage and their sex life sucks. So I want to let us know that sex is not dirty. Sex is not dirty. It's a beautiful thing. And if your idea of sex is wrong, then you're going to have some struggles. You're going to not be able to find the fulfillment that you are looking for. Okay? God invented sex. Yes, he set some parameters. He set some parameters about who we can have sex with and who we cannot have sex with. He spells it out for us in his word. Yes, there are parameters. And when we're married and when you're not married, you need to stay within the parameters that God has set for us when it comes to sex. But because God gave it to us, we need to know that sex is a unique experience to bind a husband and a wife together. And the Bible calls that thing one flesh. He calls that unifying. That's what he wants us to be unified. Okay. When we have sex, guys, it glorifies God. It seals the covenant relationship that he created. It makes it easier for us to connect. Now, that is so true. I hear people saying all the time that it ain't all about sex. It ain't all about sex. But you complain about your communication. You complain about your connection. But if you absolutely get together and have some sex, then you'll feel like talking to each other. And that's an amen moment. Okay. If you come together and have sex, then you might want to be in each other's presence a little bit longer. There ain't no having no decent conversation when you don't even like each other. The reason for sex is to connect us, to help us to want to be in each other's presence. Okay. And sex also releases a spiritual awakeness in us. It keeps us holy. It keeps us from sexual immorality, and it keeps the enemy out. Do you realize that you may not be enjoying sex the way you want to because maybe the door has been open for the enemy to come in to stop you from enjoying it, to keep you mad at each other, to keep unforgiveness in your heart? Those are not God's attributes and God's ways. And the enemy will do that to divide and conquer. And when he divides us, then he sets a division in the house, the family, the community, and the kingdom. We have got to kick the enemy out and understand that sex is not dirty. Sex is good for us, okay? And it's healthy for us, and we need to talk about it. We need to be open to learning about it. Sex strengthens the connection and the communication. Real quick, me and my husband were going through a tough time in our marriage once, and someone told me don't use the marriage bed. Don't use the bed to get to him. Don't use the bed to work that out. And I was going to, this person was from an older generation. And so I listened to wise counsel, and I thought, I'm going to pay attention. I'm not going to do it. And then I prayed, and I thought about Esther, and I was like, Esther needed to talk to her man. She knew how to get to her man. So let me go in here and figure out how to get to my man. Lord, I'm going in here, and I'm getting ready to connect with this man, and then we're going to work this thing out. And lo and behold, we are still together. Here we are, year 14, and that was probably at like year 5 or 6. And I was like, no, I'm getting ready to use what God gave me, and I'm gonna use it in a way that's going to be healthy, that's going to be productive, and that's going to be beneficial to us as a couple. It works, guys. It absolutely works. Now, this is what sex is not. Sex is not about the penis penetrating the vagina, okay? Sex is not about you. Sex is not about other people. And it will not change a person. So it did not change my husband. The sex did not change me. We were able to come together and to connect and to have a stronger bond of communication. And then we were able to think clearly to work the things out. Okay. Sex is not about just having children. Okay. Yes, we are supposed to be fruitful and multiply. But if you utilize sex only for the purpose of having children, then if you get to a place and your body cannot reproduce, then you're not going to enjoy sex. If you feel like I am not a woman or I am not a man because I cannot, then you're not going to be able to enjoy sex. And if you feel like that sex is just about having kids, when the children get grown and gone, then what? Then what? Because you're not having children anymore. So sex is not about having children, okay? Sex is not about that. And sex does not make you a man or a woman. I know people seem to think that that's what sex implies, but it does not imply that you are a man or a woman. Sex is not dirty. Sex is amazing. And here's the thing. Most of us enjoy it. Most of us like it. We're just trying to keep it secret. And so I want to encourage us, don't be so secretive about it. There's so many healthy things that can come out of us being so free when it comes to sex. If we become free when it comes to sex, then we raise up children who are healthy in that manner. And they don't have to learn it from the world. They can learn it right from home, which is what God really wants us to do anyways, is to teach our children all of these things. Stop being so hard and so stiff in this area. It will benefit you to open up your mind, to free yourself, and to just relax when it comes to sex, to learn about your bodies, to learn about your spouse's body, to learn what your spouse likes, to even learn what you like, to understand that your body is changing and developing the older that you continue to get. And you need some different things to talk about. Do you know that there are ways that you can implement some supplications in your sex life to bring about change and to bring about a different level of ecstasy? Listen, I'm here to tell you that sex is not dirty. And it doesn't have to be demonized, okay? There's so many different things that you can do. There's so many different opportunities for us. God said that we cannot have sex with relatives. He said we cannot have sex with the same gender. He said we cannot have sex with animals. And when he listed relatives, he listed both in-laws and natural relatives, extended versions of relatives, no relatives at all. But what he did not restrict, people, is he did not restrict your positions, your frequency, or what you can add. He never said you couldn't have fun. He never said it had to be a secret. I think about Adam and Eve, and I'm like, you know what? They was out there in the field. They was out there in that garden. They didn't have any beds. There was nothing limiting them before their eyes were open. They enjoyed it. And I think we need to take some of those examples and begin to enjoy sex. The world seems to get it. The world gets it, and the world is enjoying sex, and it is the saints who need an awakening. We need an awakening in the area of sex. So I pray that you will open up your mind, that you will open up your heart to understanding that sex is not dirty. You can enjoy it. There are some freedoms and some things that you can do. Don't limit yourself in this area, okay? I need you guys to be able to be free and have fun. So when you have to go to a counselor and they say on a level of 1 to 10, where do you fall in the sex area, in the sex department? You don't come up with a 2 or a 3 or a 4. That you can be on the higher scale of a 7, 8 or a 9 or maybe even a 10. Because sex ain't dirty. It's amazing. And I know you like it. So open up your mind. Thanks for listening to me on this topic, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate your time. I am love coach Chara Taylor, and I am a pure romance consultant. And I would love if you would connect with me if you have questions. Please feel free to contact me on my website at www.teamtaylorministries.com, or you can go to www.keepithotanholy.com. I look forward to talking to you the next time. But until then, make sure you are keeping your marriage hot and holy. Do what you do.